Good evening, Freddy Vazquez with Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, let's talk about Yonkers. What do you know about the city of Yonkers, the city that many of us love? I want to touch on the history a bit about Yonkers and move up to today, where we at now, how has it changed? And also, I want to talk about some of the crime that's been happening in the past couple of days. Join me. I am Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. Today I want to talk about Yonkers, the city that we love. Give a little bit of history of the city. Brief, won't be too long, I know. History is boring. I want to make it exciting. What the heck? I'm gonna wait, see if we get some more people. Good evening, folks. It's Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Today I wanted to talk about Yonkers, the city that we love, right? I love it. Do you love it? I know there's a lot of things that maybe aren't, so kosher, but I think we all, for the most part, love this city and don't want to have to leave, although many people have been making a mass exodus or have been a part of the mass exodus of folks moving out of Yonkers because of rising rents, hard to find apartments that are affordable or even a house to buy that's affordable, right? So I want to talk about Yonkers just a little bit. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Yonkers is a very interesting place. It's a lot of, a lot of things have happened here. A lot of people that are well known have come from Yonkers, from all different districts. And so I wanted to talk about that because I want to inspire some, pride in our city, right? Yonkers was originally inhabited by indigenous tribes known as the Algonquin, Algonquin, Mohegan, and Manhats or whatever. That was the Native Americans that, occupied the area here. It was called the village of Nepecamac, right? That's what Yonkers was known as, which was means the river stream or rapid stream, right? The city of Rapid Stream. The Hudson River actually was known as the I don't know how to pronounce these words. I'm sorry. These words Chateaumoc River, or now Hudson River. But there were indigenous people here. There were Indian, Native Americans, I should say, tribes and stuff, because we've been talking about, the Africans that were enslaved here in the city of Yonkers. And by the way, I did reach out to the artist who did the African Rain Garden. So if you would like to join me in the show, I did reach out to you. Check that out. Left my my number, or so someone else who had reached out to me, right? But it was named after a gentleman by the name of Vanderdock, right? They called him Yonker, or the young gentleman, and that's where we got our name. And Yonkers was mostly a suburb of New York City, very quiet for a very long time. Even in the 80s, back when I was growing up, it was still fairly quiet, right? And then now we are a city all on our own, right? In our own. 212,000 people live here in the city of Yonkers. It hasn't gone up a whole lot, though, since the 80s. There were about 195,000 people. But while things have changed, some things still remain the same, right? I grew up on Buena Vista on the southwest side. We always had the best views, right? Even though it was the poor side, the impoverished area, the southwest side, a lot of things were happening there. We still had the great views of the Hudson River, right? So, while it was rough there growing up, it was much different than it is today. Even though it was the hood, we were still like a community. We were still family, right? People still looked out for each other, still had respect for the older lady down the street. But now it seems like everyone's so isolated. Neighbors aren't friendly to each other anymore. And I remember this started happening just before I moved out of the apartment building I was living in. And it just seemed like everyone was strangers, right? Everyone just stayed home inside. But back when I was growing up, Yonkers, was a fun place. In the summertime, especially, we would be outside. Everyone, you see people hanging out their windows, talking, the adults, the kids running around. Literally, we were in the street, because there wasn't a lot of traffic. We weren't worrying about getting hit by a car. But things have changed. We've become a lot more crowded, a lot more traffic, and you can't let your kids hang out in the street. And you can't let them out by yourself, right? It's a lot of stuff going on. And recently, for whatever reason, we seem to have been having like this crime wave, like a crime spree or whatever. The other day, I was on Riverdale Avenue, where, according to sources, police were serving a warrant. I'm not sure if that's all the way true, but they pulled over a car with Maryland plates. Individuals jumped out the car, ran into 85 Riverdale, leaving a female behind. She was taken into custody, and eventually police would find 19 handguns in a duffel bag, right? And then there was a police chase on Douglas and Park that ended with the car crashing into a home over there on Douglas. And then a delivery man was robbed by a young kid, a young teenager, right? So what's going on in Yonkers? And even though when I was growing up, it was still rough. It just seems like it's a different type of crime. It's just more, vicious, it seems, more hate filled and more violent, more guns. I want to play this video really quick from 90 or 85 Riverdale the other day. And guess what? I got it from the Yonkers Voice. I'm going to share his video. And by the way, I saw him there when I was doing my video live, and he was there. He said nothing to me, all that rant that he went on about me, and I said nothing to him. But I want to show the video because I want you to hear what this woman has to say. I think it's important. Listen to what she says here. I heard that and I thought that was very sad. He's asking her what's going on. And, she says she doesn't know. What she said was that she was putting her kids or picking up her kids from the bus. And then she saw all this going on. So she's lives there. She has kids. And then she goes on to say, it's sad because this is our community and we don't know what to do. But where else are we going to go? And she, and I heard her say that, and I played it a couple of times, and it just made me sad. Made me sad because, and this is the thing with the statue and what I was saying, and it wasn't specifically about the statue, but Yonkers has changed a lot, but it hasn't changed at all, right? We have 212,000 people now. We're the third largest city. Great. But how has it improved for certain demographics? Hispanic and Black still primarily live in poverty. And as you can hear the woman, she says, where are we going to go? We have nowhere to go. Although some people are leaving Yonkers, but many other people don't have that option. They have nowhere to go, and they're constantly seeing this violence, crime going on, guns, 19 guns found in the building that she lives in with her children in a duffel bag. What if one of the kids found it and started to play with the guns, right? So, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed when it comes to, certain groups who still remain impoverished. It's a cycle of poverty, generation after generation, right? While Blacks and Hispanics make up the majority of the population, Blacks at 16%, Hispanics are roughly about 43%, right? They remain largely, living at or below the poverty line. Hispanics make up 61% of the students in the Yonkers public schools, while Blacks make up 16% of the students. And a total of 77% of the students in the Yonkers public schools are living at or below the poverty line. 77%, nearing 80%. That's huge. The rate of poverty among Yonkers public schools students is, I'm sorry, not 77, it's 75%. The rate of poverty, the students. So 75% of the students are living at or below the poverty line. They live in an impoverished neighborhood. They live in the hood, so to speak, right? So why is that? Why has that not changed since when I was growing up, when we were living in the hood? And that's my issue. And it's what I say. We need to do things that are impactful, that are going to make a difference. Keep the month. Keep the artwork and murals and the painting on the street, right? And all that stuff. That's not making an impact. Blacks and Hispanics still remain impoverished here in the city of Yonkers. They make up 77% of the student body, and 75% of the student body are living at or below the poverty line. Regardless which school they attend, more than likely, if they're Hispanic or Black, they are poor. Let's just say it like that, right? Let's poor, right? So, I want to see things, and people say, Freddie, you're so negative. No, I want to see things that changes these numbers. Let's lower the poverty rate among the Yonkers public school students to 60%, 50%, especially when the majority are Hispanic and Black, and predominantly Hispanic at 61%. So what are we doing that's changing that? What? Right? And local officials, they want to, tout all this stuff that they're doing, giving out free food, right? Naming a month, for Hispanic. That's great and all, but that doesn't do much to change these statistics. And so that's my point again. You feed people because there's a need, and I get it. But why is there that need? Why don't we go a little deeper? How do we, make it to where they don't need to get free food? They don't need handouts. Keeping people dependent is not the answer. But I think they need people to be dependent, right? If people are dependent on you, they're going to come to you for help, and they're going to give you their vote when you give them free food, or when you help them with something, that's really just, again, more of keeping them dependent. They're going to come to you. Oh, great, we got food when we were in need. She's good. She's the best. I'm going to vote for her. But she's not doing anything to help you get out of poverty. Or he. I'm not singling anyone out. The elected officials. What are they doing to help you get out of poverty so you don't have to stand in the line for free food? The free food that they give out that the stores won't sell. The expiration date or whatever. They have these regulations. And that's my biggest gripe. We're supposed to be happy with crumbs. I want to see changes. I want to see things that are helping young Blacks and Hispanics and anyone impoverished to break the cycle of poverty. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that, elected officials? And that's my biggest issue. Right? So we need to find new solutions. We need to find sensible solutions that make an impact, that produce a ripple effect that is spread from the middle on out, creating change, right? So the outcome will be that the next generation of those who are impoverished now will not be living in poverty. That should be the goal, right? We need these solutions if we want to change. Otherwise, what's, being done now is just to sustain people, right? And the state that they're in. Giving them food when they're hungry is just sustaining them. But let's teach them how to get their food on their own. Maybe they need some education, helping with a career, getting a job where they can pay their bills and pay for their groceries. And then they can teach that to their kids and grandkids. And now you're having them break out of poverty, break the cycle. But keeping them dependent, which is what a lot of these elected officials seem to only focus on, doesn't do much for our community at all. At all. Or anyone impoverished, right? That's just my thing. That's all I'm saying. So a statue, you can have a statue, and people could be mad at me about the statue because I said, what does that do for the community? I don't need it to be explained to me. I don't need it to be broken down. And I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't need an explanation. What I do know is that it's not doing anything. It's just perpetuating the trauma, reminding a group of people that they were slaves. That's all I'm saying. Look at Getty Square. It's various races, but it's predominantly Black and Hispanic. And predominantly, I see more Blacks, homeless, walking around the square with mental health issues, drug addiction. And what is being done about that? I don't understand how these elected officials could stand, at some event because they did this, mural or something that just, they named a month for this, or, the statue, but you go walk a few, feet away, whatever, into Getty Square, and it's crazy. You're really proud of that? And some of the white people that stand up there next to them, and I'm not judging, I'm not all white people, please. I don't, general. I'm saying some of the white elected officials using this opportunity just to get votes. Just to get votes from a certain demographic, because if they truly care, they would implement programs, they would work on getting resources that make a difference, right? When you go back to the neighborhood, you don't see the same family there. Other groups have come here and have done well, right? Why? Why haven't, Black Americans and Hispanic Americans been able to break that cycle of poverty, achieve higher rates of success? We talk about Roe versus Wade. 30% of those who are having abortion are Black women. 30% in the entire country. They only make up 13% of the population. That statistic should make people like, whoa, that's crazy. But nobody seems to care. Just want to give them the right to do so. But why are they needing to get abortions at such high rates? That's, again, we never get that deep. It doesn't seem like we go, far enough to really solve a problem, to find the real solution. And so here in the city of Yonkers, a lot has changed. They had desegregation in the 80s. They spread kids from impoverished communities all around to other schools, the nicer schools. But what did that really do? Did that make a difference? And I'm not saying that it shouldn't have been done, but did it make a difference? Did it change the numbers? Did it improve the rate at which Blacks and Hispanics are living in poverty? Did it decrease that percentage? No, absolutely not. It hasn't done anything, because we're still in the same situation since the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2022, and here we are. We have 4 Black women, or 3 Black women and a Latina on the city council. But it's strange because you see the body of government there, and it's a lot of minorities. But when you look at how well they do here in the city overall, not very good. Doesn't reflect, the demographic here in Yonkers. And you would think that having minority Black, Black women or anyone, minorities in the council, especially 4 out of the 7, that would create some real opportunities for Blacks and Hispanics. But it seems like all it's done is a bunch of infighting between the ladies. They killed the housing ordinance, a Black woman, affordable housing ordinance, something that's very much needed by Black Americans, Black people here in the city of Yonkers. And she didn't even, vote for it. Now they're passing one that, whatever, I mean. But, they don't want 20%, right? That would improve the housing stock, affordable housing stock in the market rate apartments or developments along the water. And again, I say we need that. We need to be inspired. Kids that are impoverished need to be inspired. They need to want to get out of poverty. They need to see that there's more to life, and then they need to learn how to get on that path to success. And what a lot of our elected officials are doing, is not helping at all. It's not helping at all. It's helping them get votes, but it's not helping at all. So while things change here in the city of Yonkers, things still remain the same. So, that's my issue with some of these things that are done. And people are like, oh, Freddy Vazquez, especially what bothers me? I'll tell you what bothers me. That some of the Latinos and the blacks that get a little something, and like they don't want to see that. Like they want to, oh, Freddy, you want to be criticized. Oh, what are you doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? Right? You think that that's improving anyone's life, or that's going to make a difference? Right? I don't see it. And then so they're happy, they got their little thing, and they don't care. They don't. You don't see that what they did in the housing ordinance was affected blacks. You don't see that the Trevor Park is going to go, JFK Marina. You don't care about that? As long as you got what you wanted, right? I don't care about the whole. People just fake. I don't fake. I keep it real. Maybe you don't like it, but that's just how I do it. So, elected officials, you guys need to step up, especially Black and Latino elected officials. 75% of the student body are living at or below the poverty line. That's mostly Blacks and Hispanics, because they make up 77% of the student body. That has not changed. So you can name a month, African American History Month, Black or Hispanic Month, or give us paintings, statues. But none of that is going to, if it's not changing the numbers, if it's not helping break the cycle of poverty, it's not doing nothing. You can hand out all the free food you want. It's not doing anything. So if you want to make a difference, think a little harder. Think a little deeper. What can we do that's going to see to it that this family no longer living in poverty, that this family can have an opportunity for the young ones to break the cycle of poverty? What are you going to do that? Right? Free food is not the answer. It seems like they're going after Casada still. The council is bought and paid for in full. Well, it seems like that, right? I mean, it's like Obama. Like when Obama became president, the first time around, everybody thought that things were going to just be so much better for Black people. Like it's going to change so much. And actually Obama did a lot more for the LGBTQ community than he actually did for Black Americans. So it's like you see 4 Black women, right? And this is not to pick on them, because I've been doing other podcasts on other topics, you notice, right? But what are you guys doing to help Black and Hispanics break the cycle of poverty? Because, and you didn't hear the audio, someone said there wasn't the audio, but in the video that I played, the Yonkers Voice, there's a woman that's talking to the guy from the Yonkers Voice, and he's asked her what's going on, and she says, she doesn't know, but she was putting her kids on the bus or taking them off the bus, but she was with her kids when she saw all this starting to happen. And, and she says it's sad because this is our community and we have nowhere to go. That's what she says. We have to deal with this because we have nowhere to go. Where are we going to go? So a month is not going to help those people. Murals are not going to help those people. Free food are not going to help those people escape that environment that's not conducive for their success, for the success of their children, grandchildren, and it's just going to be a repeated cycle. But you want to take these pictures and look what we did. Look what we did for you Latinos, right? And I'm talking about even Latino, Latin, and Black elected officials. I hold you more accountable than anybody else. And I'm just tired of that. And I don't want to hear the nonsense about, I don't know my history and you want to explain to me about the statue. The only thing I need to know is that statue helping kids break the cycle of poverty? Is that saving kids from ending up in jail or dead from a gunshot wound or an overdose, making wrong decisions? No, they don't even care about the statue. How many of them know about it? I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm just keeping it other way real, Chuck Lesnick. Because I saw the video and I know you were standing up on the stage. And is that for votes? Are you doing that for votes? Do you want the black people to vote for you? Is that what that's about? I'll vote for you if you can make an impact, a real impact. You got my vote. But it's not doing that, Chuck. I know you want to run for mayor, but we need more than a statue. You know what I'm saying? We need more than a statue. And I got some ideas. If you guys really want to look good, we can try some of these ideas I have, because I'm all about results. I want to see the results. I want to see this kid saying, you know what, boom. Because of this program, these resources that were provided, I ended up going to college, or I ended up starting a business, or I got into a trade. I was never even thinking about it. I was headed down the wrong path. They fed me when I was hungry, but I was still making bad decisions. And thank God that I changed my life around because of this program here. That's all I'm saying. Was it the youth board that proposed clown training? Yeah, right? And I'm not dissing nobody on the youth board, because people took offense to this too. People always take offense like I'm personally talking about them. I'm not talking about you personally, but I thought it was just an idea that had no real thought. They were doing juggling. They were teaching kids to juggle as a way. This is a program that they put into the Yonkers public schools for black kids. They have black kids and Spanish kids juggling to teach them social skills or some stuff like that. I was like, really? Let's teach them how to be clowns. Let's teach them how to be clowns to teach them how to socialize with each other, right? Because when they go onto the real world, they have to speak to clowns. They have to know how to juggle, right? Yeah, they're gonna have to know how to juggle. When you're a slave, you have to know how to juggle. You have to juggle everything that they're throwing at you, right? It's all a distraction in theater, right? So I said, well, if you guys want to help, kids, especially Black and Latino kids, engage in something productive and teach them certain skills, why don't you do like a debate team? And the reason I got that idea is because Mimi Roca was saying how difficult it was. Westchester County DA Mimi Roca was saying how difficult it was finding qualified Black and Hispanic, but primarily Black. She was talking to the Yonkers NAACP in a meeting. Black qualified, district attorneys. Well, if you're teaching Black and Hispanic kids how to juggle, yeah, you're going to have a shortage of Black and Hispanic kids who have the qualifications to work for the DA, because all they know how to do is be clowns, because that's what they were taught in school. That's the extracurricular activities that our elected officials and other officials thought was a great idea. That's what I'm saying. It's blatant disrespect. I take it that way. You're a slave. Don't forget it. You're a clown. Go and juggle. They doing that up in Scarsdale, Bronxville, Eastchester, Tuckahoe? I don't think so. I'm sure they got great debate teams. Teach the kids about law. And maybe Mimi Roca, you should say, you know what? I'm going to reach out to the Yonkers Public School and say, hey, listen, we're having trouble finding qualified, minorities to work in the district attorney's office. Maybe we should set up a program, a law program. So that's what I mean. You have to introduce these different things to, and it's not just Black and Latino, anyone from impoverished, because there's white people that are poor also that don't have access to things. And I know they're white, they might have the privilege or whatever, some people might say, but you know what? It's everyone that's poor that doesn't have access to things, right? Let's expose them to different things that they may be exposed to if they were going to school in, one or more affluent communities. Right? You never know what someone from Riverdale or School Street or Schlobombs might be capable of doing if he or she is just introduced to these things, rather than juggling, right? And waiting on a long ass line for free food. They could become lawyers, attorneys and stuff, and make good money, make $200,000, right? When they become a city court judge. It's just crazy. So I just want to say that, nothing's really changed in the city of Yonkers when it comes to that issue. And yeah, you see some of these prominent Black, people here in the city of Yonkers, acting like everything's gravy. And they're happy with it because you're happy because you got something, right? You got a little grant money, you got a little this, you got a little that, and you good. So whatever, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna ruffle feathers. I don't care. I got mines, get yours. Remember that? I got mines, get yours. Don't you ever forget that. Let's go to the Yonkers Tribune. They really want Quesada out of here. Breaking news. This again going back to the incident on Riverdale Avenue where they found guns. Breaking news: Yonkers Public Schools 10 evacuated as 19 guns found in rooftop adjacent to building. School 10 is that little school that's inside the courtyard there in the buildings 85 and 47 Riverdale over there. Rough area at one point, gunshots. It was crazy rough. But yeah, they had to evacuate the schools. But I wanted to go to the comments. I don't really want to talk about that so much. Again, they found 19 handguns. They arrested a female. But I want to go down to the comments because they're talking about Quesada. And of course, they mentioned me, whatever. But this is, you know who this is, right? Remember, Hezi Media Inc. is located in the offices of Nader Sage over there at 10 Palisades. And look who's at the top. Oh, no, Nader Sage. They got him out. But Nader Sage is always on top. There he goes right here. Injured in an accident, called Nader Sage. So I want to go to some of the comments that people wrote. Start with the early one. Quesada is buying off trustees. Well, when will the school board convene a meeting to fire Quesada? What does it have to do with the school, the guns being located over at 85 Riverdale? And why is that comment allowed to be put on? I tried to comment twice. They never went through. This was a while back, way before basement politics, right? Somebody says Quesada is buying off trustees one by one. He's looking for a new contract. I don't think so. I don't think so. This sounds more like Nader Sage is having the Yonkers Tribune attack Quesada because that's his backup plan in case he doesn't make it to the assembly. And then he wants to leverage that as a deal for whoever may be the mayor next. He'll back off from the mayor's race if you can promise him a seat or the superintendent seat. That's what he might be looking to do. Make Quesada look mad. Since somebody says Carolyn Marie is protecting Dr. Quesadilla, and this is racist. Racist, Hezi. Racist. You allow someone to put a comment like quesadilla because Mr. Quesada is Hispanic, quesadilla being Mexican dish. And Hezi Aris puts that up, but he won't let other people put up anything negative about Nader Sage. Again, don't you find that interesting? So someone responds, she makes things up. He's talking about he or she referring to Carolyn Marie. Carolyn and her trained dog, Freddy, are working for Johnny Limo. You got it wrong. I'm not trained. Okay, I'm very wild, so don't get near me because I might piss on you. They generate fake scandals. She has a stick up her butt over Rubo and Tom Meyer, whoever is this kid. I don't know if they're purposely not spelling correctly. She was promised a job for her son, and apparently she wasn't qualified after testing. No, she just makes stuff up. So again, this is Yonkers. This is Yonkers politics. So we're talking about Yonkers. Let's talk about the town. This is Yonkers politics right here. We got Nader Sage. Doesn't matter what, Nader. Doesn't matter what. Hezi Media Inc. is registered to your building on the second floor where your law offices are located. He is constantly promoting you right here. Right? You see him on the right-hand side there. Constantly promoting you and your injury. And then he then promotes you at the top as an assemblyman. So we know where this is coming from. It's a fact. Everyone knows you wanted to be superintendent, but then people know you also wanted the mayor's seat. So are you looking for leverage here? Are you looking for leverage? Are you the one telling Hezi to create these things about Quesada and attack Carolyn and me? Still, this was today. This came out today when they're talking about me. I haven't mentioned any of these guys at all. No mugshots. Safest city. What is meant by buying off trustees? Quesada's buying off trustees? I don't think so. Again, This is why Nader Sage has to go. The guy had the mean, ugly face the other day at the Corazon Pineda event. Out of everyone, he just couldn't even be near me. Even Henry Dijon Balaj was man enough to sit down with me, and we had a conversation. He asked me what he wanted to ask me, and he warned me about his wife, and I said, I don't want no problems. Right? But at least we talked. And I talked to some other people. I talked to John Rubel also, but not Mr. Nader Sage, because he knows that I'm calling him out, and I am exposing him especially. I'm exposing him especially. He's having the Yonkers Tribune attack Edwin Quesada because he wants superintendent. If he doesn't get the mayor's seat, he wants to leverage his votes or his strength, I guess, and say, listen, I won't run if you appoint me the superintendent to whoever is going to be the number one guy or girl. That's what he might be doing. And I think that's what he's doing. So again, Mr. Nader Sage, if that is not correct, if I'm totally wrong, then you need to kick out Hezi Media Inc. from your offices. You need to tell him to stop with all this nonsense, or you're not going to promote on his page anymore. All right? I think that's fair. That's fair. Hezi is another bought and paid for by the two-time convict. Are you referring to Zahi Jerris? There goes the man, John Cater, that everybody says is behind me, in front of me, next to me. He's not. The guy's not behind me. He's not behind basement politics. What? Word I was going to look for at all. He's not at all. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with basement politics. That's old. That's what they want you to believe, because I believe Mike Cater is going to run for mayor. So it's all about making the Caters look bad, discrediting Freddy, discrediting Carolyn, making Dr. Quesada look bad. But it's not going to happen. Nader, they don't support you, Nader. They don't support you, Nader. They want Breen to win. And you know it. And that's why you're scared. And that's why you're trying to get this superintendent position, because you know it's not going to happen for mayor. Zahi, you know that, right? He's not going to get the mayor's seat. He's not going to get the mayor's seat. And he's not going to get the superintendent seat either. He's done. Nader, out of here. Done. And I'm not trying to support a Republican, but we have to get the lesser of two evils. Nader's got to go. Nader's got to go. And that's no disrespect to the Jordanian community, to anyone with the last name Sage. Okay? Don't try that funny business. Made me seem like I'm painting all sages or Jordanian people in a certain light. That's not true. I'm talking about one individual, one man. Okay? One man, Mr. Nader Sage, who's behind the Yonkers Tribune along with Zahi Jerris, who called me a trained dog. You got it wrong. I've never been trained. Never. So don't let me off the leash. Okay? So anyway, this is Yonkers. This is Yonkers politics. This is how Yonkers politics operates. I want to know how many people actually read this and believe it. Does it really make an impact? Does it really make a difference in our elections? These comments, these articles on the Yonkers Tribune? Are they? Because this is horrible. Anyway, folks, that's it for today. I just wanted to talk about Yonkers. As much as it's changing, it has not changed at all in many ways. Specifically when it comes to Hispanics and the Black population here in the city of Yonkers, we still remain, I say we as a Puerto Rican, we still remain largely impoverished. And it doesn't seem like much is being done. The only thing that officials are actively doing is developing buildings and pushing poor out, primarily Black and Hispanics. And so I speak up about that because, I feel that we're being let down. I feel like Blacks and Latinos are being let down by officials here in the city of Yonkers. And it's, a sad thing to see that you have 4 minority women on the council, yet nothing impactful has happened or been done for Black or Hispanics here in the city. Corazon Pineda Isaac, a Latina, a Dominican woman, is looking to run for mayor. 1,000% she's in. She believes she can raise the money and she's going to go for it. But all I say is, Miss Pineda Isaac, Councilwoman Isaac, what impacts have you made, particularly to your district, especially to Latinos here in the city of Yonkers and Yonkers as a whole? I'm not saying you haven't. I'm asking, what has been done? As much as I would love to vote for someone who's Hispanic, I'm not going to vote for just anyone because they are Hispanic. And if you are looking to run, because you're the only one, besides maybe Wilson Terrero, but he has been out of the picture for a while. But if you're looking to truly run, I want to see some stuff being done for Blacks and Hispanics and for everyone, to help everyone who's impoverished escape poverty somehow. And anyone who may be running for mayor, whether white, black, brown, yellow, green, purple, doesn't matter. I want to see some real action, some real impactful action. Do something that makes a difference. Lower this number. 75% of the students are living at or below the poverty line. That's unacceptable. And what is truly being done to address that? What's being done to address the homeless Black and Hispanics and whites, because they are there as well, throughout the city, but primarily in Getty Square? What is being done to address the violence, gun violence? 19 guns found in a duffel bag a few days ago. Doesn't seem like it's going to end. And what are we doing about the drug addiction and the overdoses that are happening almost daily? Many times we don't hear about it, but they are happening. Fentanyl overdoses. What are you guys and gals doing? Don't tell me you feed people. Don't tell me you named a month, a day, or a week. And I don't want to see any artwork. I want to see real, sensible solutions that help people break the cycle of poverty. That is how you reduce crime. That is how you reduce the need for abortions. That is how you reduce, kids getting into gangs and even wanting to pick up a gun in the first place. That's how you reduce that. That's how you reduce teen pregnancy. That's how you increase the rate of success while decreasing the rate of poverty among Blacks and Hispanics. So until you guys do something that is truly going to make an impact, you ain't doing nothing. As far as I'm concerned, you ain't doing nada. It's all fluff. And Yonkers will remain the same until ultimately all those who can't afford to live in Southwest Yonkers anymore move out. But it wouldn't have improved for that demographic at all. They just get out, go, see you later, sayonara. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I just wanted to, put that out there because I was thinking about the changes that have happened, immature behaviors. Yeah, I was thinking about changes. We see a lot of changes. People are excited. We have these tall buildings now. The landscape is really changing here in the city of Yonkers, right? The skyline, huge buildings, more crowds. Some of it good, some of it not good. But some things still remain the same. And that's what we need to focus on. And I think that's a lot of the important things, right? So the artist for the statue at the Rain Garden, again, I reached out to you. I left you my office number. You're more than welcome to give me a call. Would love to speak to you about that. And anyone else, Latino, Black, white, who would like to speak to me about my podcast or what I may have said or what I'm saying or my message, whether you agree or disagree and you would like to speak to me about that, I invite you to join me on the show. Just reach out to me, politicswithfred@gmail.com. I'd love to have the conversation with you. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Whether it's Roe versus Wade, slavery, the history, whatever. There's an open invitation. I'm not doing the back and forth on Facebook thing anymore. It's just, we can talk, and I have the platform. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Peace out, folks. And I can't wait. I'm going to be enjoying some days of rest soon. But I'm going to be coming live from my vacation spot. So I'm going to be doing a live podcast poolside. So I should be doing that toward the end of the week. So look out for that. Should be interesting. I'm going to be out of the basement for those who say I don't leave. Anyway, folks, have a good night. Change is coming 2023 or 223. Change is coming 2023. That's right. Change is coming. But again, whoever, gets elected in these coming elections, especially if they're people that are new, you have to address the real need, right? Again, feeding people is not going to do much. Creating these fluffy stuff, is not going to do nothing. I want to see some real impactful things. Like the goal is to help kids break the cycle of poverty. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we get kids out of the hood? I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you, folks. I'll be on soon again. Join me for the next show. I'm out of here. I got to go. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Thank you, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate all those who have shared the show lately. Thank you very much. And again, Little Prodigies is enrolling. I've got a lot of people called today. Thank you, folks. And again, we are an amazing educational child care center. I'm not the teacher. No, I'm not. But we have an amazing director, and we'll have amazing head teachers and amazing staff. So if you're interested, check out the page. I put up a bunch of information, or you can email avasquez@littleprodigies.org, avasquez@littleprodigies.org. We are accepting subsidy vouchers as well as discounts for siblings. You don't want to miss the fun Friday trips, man. Friday trips. I forgot what my wife titled it. Anyway, so check it out. Check it out. It's going to be an awesome time for kids. And again, so if you're looking for somewhere for the summer, reach out to us, 518-853-7488. Again, that's 518-853-7488. That's Little Prodigies. Check out littleprodigies.org. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basic Politics. Love you guys. Take care. Enjoy your rest of your evening. Peace out.
Freddy.